All right, so step 3 is what I like to call the stress less, streamline strategy. All right, now with this strategy, it allows you to understand what are the things you need to do, delegate some of those things, and eliminate all the things you don't need to do. You want to get all the distractions out the way, all of the menial things that's not really going to help you execute on those repeatable tasks, that's going to help you get to your long-term goals. So step 3, we're going to break it down into 4 minor parts. We'll call them step 3A, 3B, 3C, 3D. Let's dive into step 3A right now. All right, so check it out. Here you have a diagram of the 4 steps that are in the stress less, streamline strategy. The first step is what I call thought transfer. Second step is the fast filter. The third step is all about building your timeline. And the very last step is scheduling, right? That's the execution. That's the main part that we're talking about for step 3. But we want to be smart about this. We want to make sure we executing on the right things. Let me break it down for you real quick. Doing the right things is being effective. Doing things right is being efficient. All right, so we'll focus on efficiency after we focus on being effective, because you want to make sure you're doing the right things. One thing I learned from Naval, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Naval Ravikant, but I'll leave a link down to his website. He's a venture capitalist / philosopher, really smart guy, made a lot of money just doing what he felt like was the right ethical thing to do and following some simple practices. But one of the things he talks about is the series of the important how to really navigate doing work. The most important thing is not how hard you work. Hard work is important. Don't get me wrong. I'm gonna definitely be here talking about hard work and hustling and doing the things you need to do to make the things you want to happen. But the best thing to do is to work smart and to work hard. So the first thing you should be doing is figuring out what to work on. The second thing Naval talks about is who to work with, and then the third thing is how hard you work. So with the stress less streamline strategy, I'm thinking about what things to work on. I'm trying to help you understand and isolate the things you need to work on. That's how we really gonna get the most leverage. All right, so we know the 4 steps. We're gonna talk about the very first step, thought transfer. All this is that you're gonna make a list and write down all of the things that you know you need to do, right? All of those repeatable tasks and all the things that go on in your day that you know you gotta get done. Some of them may not be repeatable tasks, but we wanna get the things out onto the list. Now, this is not a journal. This is not a venting exercise, all right? This is a streamlining strategy so you can get to those repeatable tasks. It's gonna help you get to your long-term goal. Write down all the things you need to do. I'm gonna say it again because I talk fast sometimes. Write down all the things you need to do. It's important to write the things down because writing is an activity that's very close to the visualization that imprints on your subconscious, right? It's a powerful thing. It kind of just loops back in your mind. You think it, you write it, you read it, and then it just kind of keeps cycling over and it really imprints in your brain. Also, writing is the first way to manifest ideas into reality, right? You take a thought in your head, your repeatable task, your goal, and you put it down on paper, which you already did your long-term goals. You wrote those down, you thought about that, and then you're writing down the actual task. So boom, thought transfer, super simple. Step 3A, we're gonna transfer our thoughts, which is basically all of the things that we have to do, including those repeatable tasks. Let's just get them on paper. Boom. Now with step 3B, this is the part I call the fast filter. Now if you set up your paper in like a simple column, or even if you're just using the margins on an 8x11 page, you write out everything. You typically stay within the margins. On that little margin on the far right, we're gonna add some labels so you can filter all of these tasks that you just wrote down. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to use this framework I call the ode to self, right? So ode is typically like a poem that's dedicated to something, someone, or some happening, some event. We're dedicating this to ourselves and to our long-term goals, to the future version of ourselves, who we want to become, right? So ode is an acronym that stands for orchestrate, delegate, and eliminate. So now that you have all your tasks written, you're going to label them O, D, and E. O is for all of the things that you have to orchestrate. This is stuff that only you can do. You're going to be the most effective person to do this. D is for delegate, smaller, minor tasks. They need to get done, but you don't need to do them. So you're going to delegate those tasks off. Boom. Let somebody help handle that for you. Eliminate. That's damn near everything else in your life. the unimportance of almost everything is highly overlooked. So you really got to understand, like if it's on the list, if you got Netflixing on your list, like, it's not that Netflix is bad or watching TV is bad, but is it really going to help you get to those long-term goals at a certain point, right? So yeah, you might schedule time to enjoy those things, but it's not like if you're writing down you need to finish watching such and such series, you ain't focused. You ain't really trying to hit your long-term goals any damn way. So you're going to eliminate all the other things. Some of the other things that mostly have to do with just urgent tasks, some of those things probably can get eliminated, or they're just not that important, or somebody else can handle it. But basically you want to label all these things O, D, or E. Ultimately, you want to be delegating or eliminating damn near 40% of everything that's on your list. That top 60% you can probably get down, but in that top 60% for sure is going to be the repeatable tasks that you have to do in order for you to hit your long-term goals. And those are the goals. That's what you're going to be doing over the next 90 days, right? Another thing that happens is once you start to delegate and eliminate some of these things, you feel less stress. And this is all about avoiding burnout, not being stressed, and getting back to hitting down goals. So when you really break it down, you're like, oh, okay, I ain't really had to do that. Now I feel better. I got more time. I got more energy to put into things that's really going to help me be effective. Before we go on to these final steps of the streamline strategy, you see these documents, you see these PDFs that I'm pulling from to show you what the strategy is all about. You can get access to them at the link down in the description. I need you guys to have this so you can really focus. It's really going to help you lock in and do the things you need to do over the next 90 days. And let's get back to the very next step. All right, so now the next step of the streamline strategy is all about timeline. You got to build the timeline. You got to implement the timeline. You got to set up a timeline. You can't play with it. You got to understand, time is not money. Time is a tool that allows you to leverage the happenings and things that's going on in your life, but mostly leverage your energy, okay? Because money is energy, okay? Money is not time. Time is far more valuable than money. If I told you I'd give you $5 million today, if you got to self-delete 5 minutes after I give you the money, what would you say? Okay, that's how you get to understand. Now you really starting to understand, right? Time is more important than money, right? Time is a tool. It allows you to leverage the past, the present, and the future the right way so that you can get what you want. All right, so we're gonna build a timeline. This timeline comes straight from your list, your thought transfer list. Everything that's labeled O and D are gonna go on your timeline. And you're gonna put next to all of these things, because if you don't have a date, then it means you're not really trying to get it done. You just put it out in the world with no specific time on when you plan on getting it done, no specific leverage on how you're going to use that, how you're going to bring the idea to life, how you're going to take that repeatable action so you can hit your long-term goal. So you got to create a timeline, all right? And creating that timeline just kind of gives you it gives you a space to actually see what things need to get done first and what things need to get done later. And having that timeline, you can use all types of apps, or maybe you can just, if you're still just writing it down, you can kind of just put a date next to it and maybe use a pencil, and you see some other things that's further down the list, like, oh, you know what? I need to move this up, or this needs to get done, before this thing needs to get done. So that's the importance of a timeline. We only assigning times to the things we got to orchestrate and the things we're going to delegate. If it got eliminated, then we only need to get it done. Don't think about that. You know what I'm saying? Just go ahead and cross that out. These are due dates, okay? The timeline, we're putting due dates, right? I should have said that before, but I'm saying it now, and you're still here with me, so you're going to get that gem. Assign a due date. This needs to be done by, needs to be delegated by, needs to be done by. So even if you delegate it to somebody else, you need to have it done by that due date, all right? Boom. Step number 3 in the streamline strategy is kind of simple. You're going to just assign due dates. You're going to create a timeline. Step number 4, this is the special move. This is the go-to move. This is where things really come down to the nitty-gritty and you get stuff done. Scheduling is the final step. This is where you actually implement those repeatable tasks, right? You don't want to just make a list of to-dos and you put them on the calendar and now they still not the right things. It's about being effective. So let's talk about scheduling. I always recommend Google Calendar. There are bunch of different calendar apps. that's cool. You may even have a manual diary or calendar or whatever it is that however it is you schedule things and plan things, but you want to schedule in all of the things that's on your timeline. And remember that scheduling is about taking action. Due dates are not doing dates. So now you're going to schedule the time you're going to do those actual activities from your timeline. But this is not that complicated. It's really just 4 steps. I just found that it's easier to break the 4 steps down this way, because when you rush to the very last step of scheduling, you'll oftentimes schedule the right things. Those things drain your energy, burn you out before you actually get to the main things, and that's when you start to feel unaccomplished, burned out, fatigue, and lack clarity. But now we got clarity. Now we got energy because we eliminated the things we don't need, and then we can get really to the things we need to do. So you're going to schedule in the repeatable tasks first. Those are the things that are priorities, right? So if you're taking care of your health, if you're trying to lose weight and you got to schedule those repeatable fitness tasks 3 times a week, you're just going to block out the time for fitness, put it in your calendar, okay? And if it has to change, let's say we're working out 3 times a week. We may not be working out Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but 3 times a week, right? If that's what your goal is, we got to get it on the calendar. We have to have our 3 meals. It's easy if you can plan your meals. It's great if you can plan the time you have those meals, so you can kind of regulate your metabolism, get your body used to eating at a certain time so you can burn the calories you need to burn so that you can hit your weight loss goal if that's the case. So you want to put those repeatable tasks in the calendar. Then you want to go take the one-time task, put those joints in the calendar too. Now you have a clear outlook on what you need to accomplish day to day for the next 90 days for you to avoid burnout from all of the tasks that you don't need to be focused on, gain clarity, boost your energy, and get back to on track to hitting your goals and getting directionally correct for the next 90 days. Then that 90 days is going to overlap into the next 90. Before you know it, you're going to look up and be like, yeah, that's a successful year right there. Because that's what we want, right? Year after year, you want to have great days, great weeks, great months, great quarters, great years, okay? And you can track that using the streamline strategy. If you made it this far in the video, I have a gift for you, because clearly you are serious about avoiding burnout and getting back to hitting your targets in the 2nd quarter and for the rest of the year. And I want to support you with that. So I'm giving everybody access that's watching this video to the Streamline Strategy Guide for just $1. You can just click the link that's down in the description. You can get access to the entire guide. There are video tutorials. There's a PDF download guide, some extra resources that'll help you implement the Streamline Strategy. So all the steps I just talked about, the long-term goals, the repeatable tasks, all of the 4 steps within the Streamline Strategy you can get access to for just $1. It's super helpful. It's going to really help you gain clarity. It's going to get you back a whole lot more time, because you're going to eliminate all of the BS out of your schedule. You're going to have more time to invest in yourself, more time to recover, to recoup, to be productive, to execute, to make more money, right? To lose the weight that you're trying to lose, to spend the time with the people you're trying to spend the time with. You need that time back, okay? Because that's a tool to leverage to get the quality of life you want. Again, time is not money. Energy is money. You implement this strategy, you get more energy. Guess what you can do with that? I already told you. You already know. You're just gonna get back more time, make more money. Or spend more time with your loved ones. Whatever it is that you want to do. But you can implement this strategy. You can just watch this video, rewind it, do it as many times. Or you can click the link in the description and check out the Streamline Strategy Guide. You get it for $1. I got you. I told you I was here for you this episode. So thanks for tapping into the Healthy Deposits podcast. If you found these steps helpful, if you found this strategy valuable, please like, share, comment, subscribe, tell your friends. Like, yo, I got this strategy. I've been tapped into these new apps. It's going to help you execute, help you get more productive, help you make more money. That's what we on. That's how we moving in the 2nd quarter of 2024 and beyond. I will catch you guys in the next episode.